there are some interesting challenges when it comes to Delta Lake. The first one is handling complex schemas. If we have a schema that contains like a lot of nested structures, that contains arrays, that contains other nested structures, and we are using, for example, a merge operation to update some fields or insert if the where clause is not satisfied, essentially. When it comes to extracting those really deeply nested structures, can become a little bit problematic. And there are some workarounds, but there is no clean ways for now to essentially handle this the extraction of information from these deeply nested structures. And that's something that could be a little bit difficult to handle sometimes, in some scenarios. Another thing is the transaction itself and concurrency. So if we have two operations, for example, merge operation happening at the same time, one and writing on the same partition, then we are going to have essentially a concurrency error. One of the two merge is going to fail because we are essentially trying to read and write in the same partition at the same time from two different pieces of code, essentially. And that's something that could be a little bit annoying because maybe we didn't design our pipeline keeping this in mind, and then we need to find solutions in order to address the specific problem. So we need to try to find a solution to maybe execute the query again after a certain amount of time, or catch the error and notify the user. There are a lot of small things that can be really annoying really quickly. And another thing about concurrency is that it can happen even when you're not using a merge operation right out of the box. So let's say that you have a cell in your notebook, and the cell, what it's doing is reading from a partition, doing some operation, and then writing back the result in the same partition. And you're running two cells at the same time that are essentially reading, doing some operation, and then writing back. That's essentially what a merge would do, but you are not running a merge. So it's difficult to spot that that's the error and understanding why the concurrency error happens in that specific case. So could be a little bit tricky sometimes because you end up having errors that you were not expecting because you were not using certain functions, but you kind of emulate the same behavior in a different way, and you end up having the same challenges. And yeah, it can be difficult, and don't get me wrong, it could also be extremely interesting because those are corner cases that make you grow both as a data scientist or a data engineer and also as a developer.